I am no longer a materialist, okay, or physicalist. I have moved over to the world of dualism. I believe now in the immaterial, okay, which means who knows what's next. I might be religious in 6 months. We're on a wild train now, boys. Am I the asshole for deleting my son's Minecraft world? I have 2 children, a 9-year-old son and a 6-year-old daughter. My son in a Minecraft world where he built quite an impressive castle on an island, which he was very proud to show me. Since school was canceled, he had issues with waking up on time. He's supposed to wake up at 7 each morning, but for the past month, he's been sleeping until about 9 or 10. I always set an alarm for him, but he sleeps right through it. I don't wake him up because waking himself up is a skill that he needs to learn. Hold on. Told him about 2 weeks ago that there were going to be consequences for him if he continued to sleep every morning. At first, he understood when he was waking up on time every morning, but for the past week or so, he's fallen back into old habits. I told him yesterday that this is his final warning. Today, he slept in until 11. So I followed through with my warning. I wanted the computer deleted his favorite Minecraft world. I took away his computer privileges for the next month. When I told him, he started screaming and crying. He told me that he spent a whole year working on that world, and he's very distraught that he's never going to see it again. He's been crying something the other day, and he's Jesus. What? Wait, how many? Are there other parents in here?
Why is it called a peanut if it isn't a pea or a nut? Also Pepala in chat because we don't know.
Fuck, there's probably like no. I'm curious. So like for me, obviously I don't see Nathan physically anymore, or at least I haven't for a while. In terms of like being like hands-on for discipline, when I was with Nathan, one thing that I felt like when it comes to disciplining your kids is that like if you go nuclear right off the bat, they have nothing to lose. Like, I noticed that it seems like Rachel would try that. And then like, oh, you just lost your computer for a month. It's like, okay, well, if he acts up, what the fuck are you going to punish him with now? Like, for children, like a month is already an infinite amount of time. That you're talking about lifetimes. A month is so long. That's 4 weeks of school. That's 4 weekends. That's an infinite stretch of time. Like, if he keeps acting up, are you going to threaten to take it away for 2 months? For 3 months? Like he doesn't understand any of that. Like he's fucking 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old, right? Like there's no way that he's going to understand like that stretch of time. So it always felt like it was better to do like to progressively take away things that so that they still have something that they're working towards, and so that they still have something that they can lose. It always felt like a better way to scale punishments. So like you lose your computer for today, and if you keep acting like this, you're going to lose it for tomorrow too. Or like, yeah, you know, like, oh, well, you know, you've lost your computer for the week. If you want to get it back, if you do all of your chores today and tomorrow, then tomorrow night you'll have it back. That like it feels like I'm sure there's like psych research on it, but I feel like you've got like there's about like a 24-hour window. Like day after tomorrow is infinite stretches of time today. Like today and tomorrow are like the time frames it seems like most reasonable to work through. But yeah, it always seemed like if you punished him like, oh, no computer for a week or two or whatever, it always seemed like that was such a long amount of time that it wouldn't. That like doing more than that is just like he would stop caring at that point. Like, oh, lost it for a week, well, fuck it, I might as well not have my computer for the rest of my life. And then the worst thing too is that when you walk back on punishments like that, because inevitably like one of us would, like you lost your computer for a month, like that's probably not going to stand. But then it's like, but now your punishments mean nothing because he knows it's not going to be a month, because that's like, yeah, I don't know. Although in this case, this is a really easy one. Children time discount is an insane amount. It's incomprehensible to adults even. Yeah, for sure. Time discounting is the idea that stuff that happens in the future is worth so very fucking little to you versus stuff that happens now, right? I think we learned that in economics. I don't know why Oh, also, if you're gonna punish with something, the child should always know the punishment. I guess, right? It seems like it would make sense. Maybe there are reasons not to. But I don't know why you wouldn't just save the world and move it off his computer. Why would you actually delete it? That seems like obviously stupid. Yeah, time discounting is why losing weight is so hard for so many people. The value that you have on like a pizza today is so much greater than
Let's have sex.
Looking good 6 months from now, right? Yeah. Also, it really sucks that, like, of all the things your kid can be doing, to destroy, like, a creative project feels really, really harsh. Like, that's, like, damn, dude. I don't know. Like, that's the kind of shit that... That's the kind of shit that you'd look back on that would be fun. Like, oh, like, when you were... I don't know how old he is. Oh, he's 9, just like Nathan. Yeah, like, when you're not... Like, when you're, like, 18, like, looking back on some shit that you did when you're 9, like, that's pretty sad. Like, this is... I know that it's digital, so it doesn't feel the same, but this would be the equivalent of like walking into your kid's rooms, like smashing his Lego set and like putting it in the closet. Like, are you really that kind of parent? Okay. I want you all to know that I've been doing a lot of thinking lately. I know how much you guys care about this, okay? I am no longer a materialist, okay, or physicalist. I have moved over to the world of dualism. I believe now in the immaterial, okay, which means who knows what's next. I might be religious in 6 months. We're on a wild train now, boys. I listened to Rem earlier. Rem has never convinced me off of anything related to materialism in my entire fucking life. He has really fucking weird ways
Congrats.
to get there.
Destiny on reaching 100 million
Thanks.
Twitch views. Also, the subreddit reached 80,000 subscribers today.
What convinced you? I was thinking about my talk with Marty a lot. And the thing that I kept thinking about was usually the reason why I believe in materialism or physicalism is that I think that every single thing that we can know comes from like two places. One is that we have, so I don't know if I refer to this properly, but we have like a priori reasoning, okay? So like what this is that by virtue of being a human being, there seems to exist some concepts in your mind that are just part of the human experience. So, for instance, knowing that something is something, knowing that something can't both be and not be, knowing that things can't have contradictory properties, right? Something can't both be simultaneously blue and red. It can't be two exclusionary, right? These are just things that, like, are incomprehensible, that we can't have these, right? So we have that. And then we have sense data. So, yeah, independent of experience, these things, yeah. And then we have, like, sense data. So I can see things, and then, yeah. And then when you combine those two things, it seems like we can extrapolate the entirety of human experience out of those things. So, for instance, I have a blue wallet, okay? That's, like, sense data gathered, and then it runs through my mind. But I can also imagine what it would be like to have, like, 2 blue wallets. Or if I had 2 blue wallets and I added 3 blue wallets to it, I can envision 5 blue wallets, even though I've never gathered that sense data before. I've never seen 5 blue wallets together at the same time. I've never seen that. But because I can reason it out, right? Because I can inference, because I have all of these identity laws in my head, I can, like, figure that out. I can imagine that. So that was like my stance on like materialism before was like just that everything in the world I can explain like given some physical condition. But the problem I have that I've started to think a lot more about recently is I can't know. We kind of dip into solipsism a little bit, okay? So solipsism is the idea that you might be the only conscious being and no one else is truly conscious. They just seem to be, right? These are called like philosophical zombies, kind of, right? I can't observe or see or know about conscious experience at all. It's impossible for me to do so. So one thing that I wonder is that, like, I can use all sorts of a priori reasoning and I can gather all sorts of sense data about a brain, but I can't, but even given an infinite collection of data, nothing about that can say,
best user in DGG.
Nothing about that can tell me, like, oh, well, there's a conscious experience happening here. I have no idea. I have absolutely no way possible to know that. I can't know that. I just can't. I can guess at it, and I can speak with, like, degrees of probability, right? Like, I have a conscious experience. I don't know how. I don't know where it's contained at. It seems to arise from the brain. Other people have brains that seem to be similar to mine, so maybe they do. But, like, let's say that you were to give me some circuitry on a computer board, okay? And these interacted with each other in a certain way. And you would ask me, like, is there a conscious experience happening there? I don't know. I would have absolutely no way of knowing the answer to that. And I don't think I can know. But I seem to know that I have a conscious experience. That seems to be the case. I'd imagine other people would, but this seems to be something that I accept the existence of it, right? I mean, I must accept the existence of my own experience. And I seem to accept the existence of other people's conscious minds, but I have no way of really knowing that, or no way of measuring it, or no way of understanding it, becoming intimately aware of it, meaning experiencing it myself. I can't collect sense data on other people's conscious experiences whatsoever, and I can't just, like, a priori reason, like, oh, given these parts, a conscious experience will arise. So that means I must accept that there is something that exists that I believe in that seems to be immaterial, or at least if it is material, it's material to another creature that has sense data that I don't have access to, which for all intents and purposes might be material. But it would be somebody else's, like, yeah. But or I'm sorry, for all intents and purposes, that may as well be immaterial to me. If there's data out there to collect that I have no organ to perceive, then it may as well be immaterial, right? Yeah, I don't know. So that's where I'm at right now. Consciousness isn't immaterial, though. We just don't understand it yet through science. But that's the thing, is that, like, all of our science, the only thing that would change this, maybe, is if we could plug some, well, I don't know. It's inconceivable right now to even think about it, though. Yeah, I don't know. A nervous system should, well, like, here's the thing. The thing is that if I were to lay out, like, certain parts, like, if I were to design, like, a circuit board, and I were to have, like, you know, certain pathways and certain, like, modules or whatever on the board, this is my beautiful circuit board. There you go. If I were to ask you a question about it, oh, hold on, we need a battery. Okay, if I were to ask you about this circuit board, I would say, okay, well, I have a lot of these different parts here. Is there a conscious experience happening? You will never be able to answer the question. Right? Like, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck that means. Like, I could put, for instance, like, I could attach to this, maybe I can give it eyes and ears, and then, like, a finger to touch things, right? So maybe this thing can detect, like, heat and texture. Maybe it can see light waves in the visible spectrum. Maybe it can hear changes in air pressure for sound, right? So I can do this. So let's say that I can process that data, and then let's say that I can ask it questions about that data. Hey, what is the wavelength of that light? And it can spit out an answer. Hey, you know, what is the frequency or what is the timbre of this instrument? Like, it could, right? Is that a conscious experience? Like, does it have a conscious experience? I don't know. I have no idea. I have no way of knowing. I can't possibly know because, like, given all the parts of a human brain, right? Like, we can have a part for storing memories. We can have a part for controlling emotions. You know, we can have, like, our whole frontal lobe for whatever our sense of self and all that shit. You know, we can have the brainstem controlling, you know, certain things. Like, we can have all these parts, and then we can have these parts interacting with each other so that, like, if I ask you a question, hey, what does your grandma look like? You know, maybe some series of neurons fires up and they interact with other senses, and then you're able to speak out, like, an answer, like, oh, like, blah, 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 blah. But, like, I don't know if there's an actual conscious experience happening. I don't even know what that means, right? But, like, but yeah, that's so, yeah, it's really, really weird. I don't know. I still don't understand why your response to Marty doesn't still work. What's the difference between a brain and a mind? I don't know. I'd have to go back and think. I think most of my responses to Marty were good. It wasn't a Marty argument that convinced me. It was just some of the things that I said to Marty. I started to think more about later on. That like kind of moved me off of the idea that like I don't know. I guess consciousness and a brain seem to be two fundamentally different things. They seem to be. But yeah, I'm not sure. Do you believe it's an immaterial thing but emerges from a material brain? That seems to be the case, that it comes from a material brain. Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, weird. You could just bite the bullet and say, yes, a circuit might have a pseudo-consciousness. Yeah, sure, but like, what does that mean then? Like, or what could have a conscious or what couldn't have a conscious? So, for instance, like, here's something that I thought about. Here was like a weird thought experiment that I thought about. I think a couple months ago I said this on stream. Wow, Skater, happy 10 months. I love you too, buddy. We'll check Drake's new album out soon, TM. So I don't think, why is your title a sad face? Because I realized that Nuance Bro is a bad faith actor who's never going to talk to me again because he realizes he was way the fuck out of his league when we talked before. It makes me sad that I did my research on stream. I should have hidden it from him so he wouldn't have seen how utterly clueless he was. So none of the, well, to my knowledge, I don't think any of the underlying structures of my brain, or even my brain as a whole, are aware of an overlaid conscious experience. I don't even know how I would begin to see if they were, but I think it's reasonable to assume that taking out small sections of the brain, that they themselves wouldn't have the wherewithal to know, like, oh shit, like you just took me out of like that self-awareness, like, oh no, like take me back to my conscious experience. Like that just doesn't seem to be the case. That like smaller parts of your brain don't seem to be aware of like the overall emergent property, you know? So something that I kind of wondered is that like, if we imagine something that has a structure, right? So information or memories can be stored in a certain area. Maybe we have like we've got like an immune system that like fights things. You know, maybe we've got like parts of our brain that are responsible for like communication. Like we can have all of these different parts of the brain, but in a way, these are kind of like parts of society too, right? Like libraries can store information or memories, or even parts of the internet archives can. Trash collectors or doctors can like clean up society. You know, we've got the internet for like information processing or communication or telephones. All of these parts technically exist in a society. Like who's to say that there's not like on like in an entire country? This is my drawing of North America. There you go. It's a tornado. Who's to say that for a country, there isn't some overlying conscious experience that's happening on top of an entire, like, nation? Like, who's to say that there isn't some sort of conscious experience that's emergent out of, like, a group of people? And if there was, how would we even fucking know? Who's to say that the Earth doesn't have a conscious experience? Maybe the entire that there could be like multiple levels of abstraction. Because the thing was that if there was like a higher level conscious thing that existed on top of everybody, it seems that we would have no way individually of perceiving that we're a part of that, right? It doesn't seem to be the case. Because the underlying properties of our brain, or the underlying parts of our brain, don't seem to understand that they're part of a conscious experience. So who's to say that a greater one doesn't exist on top of us? If you believe in immaterial things, I don't know about souls or any of that shit. I'm not interested in that. So the emergent thing that comes out of this aggregate is immaterial. Is immaterial the right descriptor of this phenomenon? Well, it seems like if there's something that exists and I don't have any way of perceiving it or knowing about it, but I assume that it exists anyways, it seems like that would be the definition of immaterial. How could that not be an immaterial thing? No? When is the composition? Sometime in the next week. Every time you ask when I'm going to grade the composition challenge, I put it off 2 more days. This episode of Mindscape discusses the exact topic. Can you define conscious experience? No, I can't at all. it seems to be like indefinable from somebody that has one. I mean, like, without, like, it almost seems to be foundational. Like, I don't know if I could explain a conscious experience without using the word conscious experience, right? Does it make you feel any different about Materialism versus subjectivism? Like, maybe there's a possibility that immaterial conscious experience could have objective value. Not really, not yet. I don't have any reason to believe that, but.
Just he's not paying attention to this. And I will only finish by pointing out that there has been a dramatic and quantum leap in the last 6 months with the
Oh, supposedly this guy literally lost his doctorate, his PhD. I don't know why the doc believes it. I mean, he's a boomer a little, I guess. He's like almost 40, isn't he? Maybe.
electrification of the Earth. And I'm sure a lot of you know what that is. It's called 5G, where they now have 20,000 radiation-emitting satellites, just like the radiation-emitting thing in your pocket and on your wrist and that you use all the time.
Radiation, it can mean a lot of different things. But like, I'm like, theoretically, am I correct? I'm pretty sure that the color red is a type of radiation. I think radiation, actually might literally mean everything on the electromagnetic spectrum. Like, literally every single thing is radiation. It's like everything, like visible light and like, it's a really vacuous statement.
That is not compatible with health. I'm sorry to say it. It's not compatible with health. That is a water destructuring device. And for any of you who say, yeah, well, we're not electrical beings, we're just physical matter, then don't bother doing an EKG or an EEG or a nerve conduction test, because...
Oh, and then these are, if you're ever bored, fuck, I don't remember any of this, but there's like...
Twitch chat, you're cute.
I didn't really think about this as much, but I think there are a lot of people that genuinely believe that you have batteries in your body that store like electricity, and you send like chargers out and charge up your body or whatever. Like we do send electrical impulses across, like different membranes or whatever. But the way that this happens is very much like a chemical process. It's not like electrical batteries. Like, I think it's a different thing. I don't remember this as much though. This is complicated shit. Fuck all this noise. I remember like ion chains of like how stuff moves up and down different for signals going through your body, but we don't like walk around. I don't know if it's people, yeah.
Why'd people happy?
Batteries are chemical ion charge. Technically, batteries are chemical as well, I guess. When people say electric, though, it feels like they're just talking about the movement of like electrons or something, right? Like, you can't just like plug a human in and like charge it up. Or just because something conducts electricity doesn't mean that like it interferes with our electrical processes or something, right? Like when that guy talks about an EKG, like I can hold batteries in my hands or interact with like things. It's not going to necessarily destroy like my heart or ruin like all my nerves because I'm conducting electricity. Like the interactions are a bit more complicated than that, right? And then there's like the difference between like ionizing radiation versus radiation that passes through your body that like you don't absorb because it's not the right wavelength and shit. It's kind of like when somebody calls something natural or not natural. Like it doesn't really make sense to, like, that doesn't mean anything. Like, there are very harmful things that are natural and naturally occurring and organic. There are healthy things that are unnatural and not like, you know. Am I crazy? Wasn't the same thing said years ago about 3G? Yeah, every single time. So people used to make the same arguments. Actually, before cell phones, I'm pretty sure people made the same arguments with just with antennas that did radio. Those are radio waves, right? Do antennas actually, or do we just call it radio and they're actually different? I don't remember. Are they? They do count as like they're actually like radio waves, right? Yeah. Okay. And then people said the same thing with electricity lines. Yeah. I remember thinking that like holding a phone up to your face would give you brain cancer or some shit. Yeah. they're all the same, but they're just a different point on the spectrum. Well, just because something is all on the spectrum of electromagnetic radiation doesn't mean that it's all the same. Like some stuff on the spectrum can be incredibly harmful towards humans. So for instance, like gamma rays, I think, doesn't a gamma ray, doesn't it just pass through you and destroy every single thing in its path? Isn't that like a problem that people in outer space have? Like because those are so high energy that they'll just destroy everything. Oh, X-rays as well, exposed long enough can cause, I think, a breakdown of like chromosomes and shit, and can start to destroy that as well. UV radiation from the sun, ultraviolet, can have damaging impacts on your skin. Yeah. Do you think the doc is just playing a character? Why would you be playing a character talking about real-life conspiracy theories? Did you see Sean mentioned you on his stream? Oh boy.
You should talk with Destiny. No, I'm not going to talk with Destiny. Sharp it now. Not on stream, anyway. Restored to lethal form, so I guess it's...
Nice. Harm from radiation highly depends on if it's ionizing radiation or not. I don't remember what that means. If something is ionizing, does that mean it's taking a proton or an electron away from something as it passes through it? Is that what ionizing means? So it turns it into ions, and then ions interact on a molecular level a lot different with other things? An electron, yeah, okay.
Hi, buddy, we love you.
Not necessarily taking away could add as well. I don't... dude, I hated chemistry so much. Holy shit. When you have like U-232, or you're talking about uranium, those are isotopes, not ions. That's different. An isotope is... An ion has a different electrical charge, I think, and then an isotope is something that's missing a proton or a neutron. An isotope is something that is missing or adding neutrons. Okay. Learning some of the fundamentals of chemistry was fun, I thought. So, like, I think given like how many valence electrons something has, and then given like the atomic like number and everything, like you should be able, I think you can put together chemical reactions, like you can draw them out in ways that should make sense. So like I think like, oh god, I don't remember any of it. Like I think in H2O, like oxygen is missing 2 valence electrons, or it needs 2 more to fill its shell. So hydrogen comes and they share with each other, and they're like, they chill and they form bonds and shit. Because they're blown out because they help each other with their shit. Oh fuck! Fuck chemistry. I hated fucking chemistry. Count the electron layers. The first shell is 2. The second shell is 4 or 6 or 8. 8, and then the next one is what, like 16 or 32 or something? I don't remember. I feel like literally everybody had a horrible chemistry teacher. Dude, my chemistry teacher was so bad, which sucks because I feel like with a good chemistry teacher, I feel like it would have made more sense, but maybe not. I don't know. I just remember I got the most convoluted. We talked about significant figures the other days. When it came to things like potential energy or chemical energy, I just feel like the explanations I got from my teacher were so incredibly fucking convoluted. It was so god awful. Oh my god.
Hi, Steven, can you please continue FF7
Yeah,
R
we
at
will.
some point? I loved the commentary. Bonus meme, 777 millimeters of mercury.
Carbon is okay, wait. So carbon's atomic number which is the same as its place in the periodic table of elements, is 6, right? Is that true or is that not true? It is 6. Okay. What? I don't even know if this counts as fun facts if I can barely explain it. Wait, people are saying 12. Wait, why are people saying 12? Wait, a lot of people are saying 12. All these people just said 12. Why? Atomic number and atomic weight are two different things. The weight is 12. Yeah, okay. But the atomic... So I think one of the reasons why people are always like, why is stuff carbon-based? Why can't it be made out of other things? I think the reason is because... Isn't it because carbon bonds... Can't it just bond with a fuck ton of shit because it needs 4 more electrons? Isn't like the property of its like outer shell like pretty unique? And that because it has 4 in its outer shell and it needs 4 more, it can form like strings and bond. It can bond with 4 different things. It can form like, this is where like you're a million different fucking like carbon chain bullshit. Like I think if you look up like a lot of like when you start looking up like dumb shit like this, it looks like a shitty computer programmer like was doing too much with some tool or something. Like you're abusing. Like but I think because carbon is like so versatile and like all the bullshit that it can form, that's why like carbon is thought to be like the best foundation for life because you can form so much complicated shit with it. Look up unsaturated fat. I think something else that can be here is it methane? No, it starts with an S. What am I thinking of? There's one other element that people proposed. Oh, silicon. That could, because of the way that it forms bonds, or because of how many atoms it need or electrons it needs, that could theoretically be the basis for life too. But the organisms would be huge, sure. But I mean, what does huge mean, right? Does Destiny say it right, or do I say, what, silicon? As opposed to what, silicon? It's silicon, right? There are a few elements, but the key is that carbon is the lightest of all those elements, so it's the most abundant of them, and therefore the most likely to work light. Yeah, sure. Those guys are mixing up. Oh, silicon and silicone are two different things. Silicon, element, periodic table of elements. Silicone, fake boobies. That's the most known application I know about silicone. I don't even know if implants today are still made of silicone though, or saline, because I know they've used different materials in the past. I don't know what they still use now. So I ate sandwiches for about 2 months. I could probably eat like a week's worth of stir fry, right? I'll do that. The next time we go to the store, we'll buy stir fry. I don't like soy sauce. I'm not a soy sauce kind of guy, but I could probably use some other type of like, there's got to be like a substitute for like some sort of spicy sauce I could use. I imagine there must be, right? Oh, teriyaki, maybe? Just use a lot of hot sauce. I don't think I could use like my buffalo sauce. And then the only thing else that sucks is making the rice. I don't have a rice cooker. I could boil a pot of it, but that's going to be like enough rice for like 10 years for me, and I don't even think I have a big pot. Just microwave it? I've never tried that before. There is a microwavable bowl of white rice. I wonder if I should just order a rice cooker. I almost said a white cooker. Have you ever tried hoisin sauce? I think so. The hoisin, if I remember right, hoisin sauce is also like a pretty like vinegary tasting sauce too, right? Like very strong, like salty vinegary flavor or something. Am I right or wrong? I don't remember. It's been a long time. No, it's sweet. Oh, okay. Then no, I don't remember. Maybe I'm thinking of Worcestershire. I don't know, dude. There's so many. Fuck that shit. Worcestershire. Worcestershire. Okay, we can. Could so I ate sandwiches for about 2 months. I could probably eat like a week's worth of stir fry, right? I'll do that. The next time we go to the store, we'll buy stir fry. I don't like soy sauce. I don't. I'm not a soy sauce kind of guy. But I could probably use some other type of like, there's got to be like a substitute for like some sort of spicy sauce I could use. I imagine. There must be, right? Oh, teriyaki, maybe? Just use a lot of hot sauce. I don't think I could use like my buffalo sauce. And then the only thing else that sucks is making the rice. I don't have a rice cooker. I could boil a pot of it, but that's going to be like enough rice for like 10 years for me. And I don't even think I have a big pot. Just microwave it? I've never tried that before. There is a microwavable bowl of white rice. I wonder if I should just order a rice cooker. I almost said a white cooker. Have you ever tried hoisin sauce? I think so. The hoisin, if I remember right, hoisin sauce is also like a pretty like vinegary tasting sauce too, right? Like very strong, like salty vinegary flavor or something. Am I right or wrong? I don't remember. It's been a long time. No, it's sweet. Oh, okay. Then no, I don't remember. Maybe I'm thinking of Worcestershire. I don't know, dude. There's so many. Fuck that shit. Worcestershire. Worcestershire.
Probably wouldn't be a very big deal unless you already have a cardiorespiratory disease.
Well, I'm not talking about health issues for eating Teflon, but if you scrape too much off of a Teflon, it's not going to work well anymore. I don't give a fuck about the health. What the fuck? He talks about that? Talks about what? Well, give me a timestamp then. I don't want to watch a 9-minute video about Teflon pans. Do you like sriracha? Yeah, I think sriracha is good. Although I bought this, there's like this store brand Kroger buffalo sauce that I bought. I think I'll eat almost any buffalo sauce. It's really good.
Thank you for all the great streams. 10 pounds nice, bro.
Thanks. All right, stir fry is going to be on the menu. Oh, I need to get meat for it though. If I get ground beef and I cook it, and then I put it in the fridge, it's probably good for like, what, like 3 or 4 days tops? No freezer? Fuck that. I don't want to shop. I don't get it. Chicken could be a substitute too. Oh yeah, they sell ground chicken and ground turkey, right? Why not get an Instapot or some other kind of slow cooker? I've had slow cooker. Somebody that I knew had a slow cooker one time. I don't know how I feel about that. Slow cooked meals, maybe that guy just sucked or whatever, but slow cooked meals to me, it's like making a slush of prison food that all like, ugh. I don't know. It's not my, they seem like really convenient and cool, or maybe my friend just sucked at it, but like, if I'm having like a stew or something, or like a soup, like I want to have like vegetables that still have crunch with them, or like carrots that are like soft and whatever, like not like something that's been all like mushed together that's just fucking like maybe it can be done like really good, but But I don't think I can. Can I slow cook a fuck ton of stir fry? Like, hold on. We're gonna buy a rice cooker. Best sellers in rice cookers. By Zojirushi brand. What the fuck does that mean? Control F. This one. Oh wait, I could just buy one of these at the store, right? Yeah, never mind. Fuck this. I don't, because I don't know when the fuck it'll get here on Amazon. I don't know what the fucking Instant Pot is. People keep saying Instant Pot. I've never heard of this before. I don't know what the fuck these do. Is stuff made in an Instant Pot gonna taste as good as if you're frying it? Like, I feel like meat fried in a pan tastes like really fucking good. Like when it's caramelized, when it gets like a little brown or whatever, that's like really good. Does this taste good if you put like beef in here? You can fry in it. It's almost as good. Yes, if you use the saute mode. It's just for rice.
1 whole year of spamming Pepe in chat. Here's to another whole year of spamming Pepe in chat.
Good one.
Love you, Stevie.
Don't listen to the dipshits who think you can cook everything in a fucking Instant Pot. Okay, I don't care. We're getting a rice cooker tomorrow. Or whenever I go grocery shopping, I guess in a few days. Oh my god, Dragonite is horrible. Alright, hold on. Why don't you make pasta? I'm trying to stay away from like super big carb shit. I don't actually even know how I feel about rice. I need to do like a little bit of reading, the difference between like complex carbs and whatever. I'm trying to stay away from like even sandwiches. I thought about just doing salads instead, so I wouldn't have the bread. But I think like the huge like whole grain, 52 grains of grain and 75 grams of protein, like that bread is probably okay, I imagine, right? What's wrong with carbs? Well, like right now, like I'm consuming like a lot of satiating food. Satiating. When you're satiated, am I pronouncing that right? Satiated,
Destiny,
I think.
look up sous vide. It will be the best meat you have ever eaten.
I've heard of it. Thank you. Everyone has. Over the past 2 months, I've been eating like about 1,500 calories a day tops, and I feel like pretty full throughout the day. Like even drinking Soylents and stuff. But if I start slamming like pastas and shit, or getting like burritos or whatever, like that's like fucking thousands of carbs that I could just eat without it making me feel full at all. So I'm trying to like avoid stuff like that. So I've just been eating like sandwiches, cereals, and like oatmeal, and then sometimes like fruits if I buy them or whatever, and then like a fuck ton of vegetables. Are you trying to lose weight? Yeah, a little bit. For like another couple months, okay? Okay. Low sugar cereals. I don't care about this.
The best in the game. Love you, man.
I don't think I give a fuck about like sugar and stuff right now. I eat this chocolate Special K cereal. Hell yes, this shit is the shit. Fuck yeah, it's so good. How about you make like a quesadilla? Yeah, that's why the problem is, the problem with like quesadillas and stuff is that like a burrito is like fucking 500 calories, or like the wrap for the quesadilla thing is like fucking 400 calories. It's just insane. I'm trying to stay away from stuff like that. Or there, you know, I know some people have like wheat tortillas and shit too that you can get technically if you want. All carbs are broken down to sugar in the end. Yeah, but like the process of breaking down carbs versus the process of breaking down like protein. Like protein leaves you feeling much, much, much fuller. And I think even fats do as well. Whereas carbs are just, they're like right there and they're ready to be used as energy or stored as fat, like immediately, like they're fucking ready to go. Whereas like proteins and fats and stuff have to be broken down. It takes a little bit longer for the body to process them. And then they leave you like feeling a little bit more full. Like for example, so like chocolate croissant, I'm going to guess that a chocolate croissant has like 600 calories, would be my guess. Maybe a little less.
Wait,
but
ISNT chocolate cereal like all carbs.
I don't know. It leaves me feeling a little fuller. No way, dude. I don't believe it. I bet this has more. But okay. So a chocolate croissant is 340 calories, okay? I could eat 10 of these in an instant, okay? But like a whole chicken breast is like 400 calories. So, like, what would leave you feeling more full? Like a chocolate croissant or an entire chicken breast? Because they're close to being like the same amount of calories. Like, you could just eat high fiber carbs. Yeah, I've heard that there are like less complex carbs. Like it's complex carbs versus simple carbs, and like simple carbs are a lot easier to
write 1,200 words for an essay, Butterfly, in 4 hours. How do I finish it without getting a failing grade?
Good one. I feel starved after I eat a chicken breast. It doesn't do anything for me. Then you're a freak of nature that processes food unlike any other human being on the planet. Because 99.999% of human beings would say that eating like a very heavy protein dish is going to leave them feeling way more full than eating fucking breads and pastas. Or other like simple sugar type things or whatever. You should find a meal delivery service you can get products with different recipes. Some of those are really expensive. Maybe not the ones with just the ingredients, but... Simple sugars such as honey, white bread, fruit, etc. break down really quickly. If you want to lose weight and stay healthy, you have to avoid eating simple sugars. Yeah, simple sugars versus complex carbs or whatever, right?
One flour tortilla is 467 calories according to Google. A corn tortilla, 62 calories. Looks like another reason why corn is better than flour. Pepe.
The problem though is
meme.
then
Fuck
we'd have to
Twitch
eat
chat.
then we'd have to eat corn tortillas. Ha! That's never happening. Crop check. Try any more low glycemic index carb sources. Oh, why? Because you think they take longer to digest, which is why they're lower on the glycemic index. I got my blood sugar measured at the doctor like a few months ago, and it was actually really good. I was worried I was like pre-diabetic or some shit, but. What's your take on doing coke? Would you ever? I'd maybe try it once, but. Okay. Do you know your blood type? Nope. If you work out, you can take huge amounts of carbs. If you don't work out, it's better to get full and you're dealing with. Wow, good job, Lake Kebab Francis. Can everybody clap at that guy in chat for saying if you work out, you can eat more food? Good job, dude. That's true. Clap us. If streamers banded together and everybody were to not stream in the duration of the ban of one of the members in the union, if you had enough big